other than on a Thursday. Yes, last Wednesday was a full day for us as we continued helping our son get his belongings together to make a big move in his journey, and we're excited for him, which sort of leads us to what I want to talk about today. Last week I talked a little bit about potential and that we all have potential in our journeys. And sometimes it takes a lot of action and really taking a deep dive inside to say, okay, what is my potential? And I shared some things last week. If you didn't hear that presentation, you can go out to my YouTube page at Jim Hatchell on YouTube and you can find it there. So today I want to share with you something that I think is important as it relates to finding our potential, and then what do we do with it? How do we get it moving? What are the things that we create to help us build the momentum? Today's talk, momentum. To build momentum to move us in the direction that we want to move. And so today I'm going to share a few things about how we can build momentum. And I'm going back to my notes again from my journal, and I'll be sharing some things that I've learned over my many years of travel through this life that I've been on, and what I have learned about momentum. You know, scientifically, we can look at momentum as the P equals M times V, or momentum equals mass time velocity. So here's how you think about that. If you think about the proverbial snowball rolling down the hill, so it starts off with a small mass of snow, and as it rolls down Okay, back at you here. We're going to try this one more time. I've got too many lights on in here. So we're going to go back and we're going to talk about the momentum factor. And as I said, this is about my journey and how I have traveled through this life I'm on to get to where I am today, to talk about how we can create more momentum. And taking what we've learned last week about potential and how we can use our potential, once we understand where we're coming from a potential standpoint, we all have much more potential than we allow ourselves to use. And so once we recognize that potential, what do we do with it? How do we make it go? How do we get from where we are to where we want to go and where we want to be? So we think about that from the perspective of momentum. And momentum, from a scientific perspective, is P equals M times V, which is momentum equals mass time velocity. Mass time times velocity. So if you want to look at it from a simple perspective, you think about the proverbial snowball at the top of the hill, and as it rolls down the hill, it's a small mass of snow at the top, but as it rolls down the hill, it begins to grow and becomes bigger and bigger. And as that size gets bigger, so does the velocity that it creates going down that hill. So by the time it gets to the end, it has created a huge amount of momentum and become very large. And that's what we want to think about as we journey through life, as we lead our teams, as we build our own personal development, as we develop our careers, whatever it is. How can we build that momentum? How can we take it from where we are today to where we want to be in the future, to collect on that deposit we are making into our potential to become our best version? So I want to share just a few things with you today. So momentum is forward motion fueled by a series of small wins. So what are small wins? Those are the small things that we do every day that help us move in the right direction. So if you ask yourself, okay, over the next 90 days, what is something you could do that could help you improve in your personal development, that could help you improve in your job, that could help you improve in your family life, that could help you improve in your spiritual life or whatever it might be. Something that you can identify that, okay, if I do this for the next 90 days, that will impact me in a positive way. What would that be that would move me in a positive direction? What would that be? So if you can identify that one thing, then you start thinking, that's the first thing, is to identify something that you can do, a goal of some sort. And then you start thinking about, okay, what are the activities that I will have to attach to that to make it work, to make it happen, to move it down the road? What are the things that I would have to do? You know, John Maxwell says, and a lot of people say this, but John Maxwell said it to me. He said, it's not what you do in a day, it's what you do daily. And it's those daily activities, those things that you do every day towards something that you've identified that you want to accomplish, a goal, that creates the momentum to move it forward. So if we know where we want to be in 90 days, and we know that there's one thing that we could do to make that happen, then what activities do we have to attach to that to cause it to move in the direction that we want to go? And it has to be the right activities. You know, it reminds me of another John Maxwellism, and it's called the law of the ladder. And he says, you know, if you're climbing that ladder, if you're building momentum in your journey to success and you're climbing the ladder up, and every time you climb up one of those rungs, you have to ask yourself, am I taking the right steps? Am I doing the right activities? And am I on the right wall in that journey? Am I doing and going where I truly want to go? So we've got to make sure we understand that, yeah, we know that we have great potential and we know there are things that we can do, but am I taking the right steps to get there? Am I doing the right things to move me in the direction that I want to go? And is that the right place for me to go? There's nothing worse in this world to be climbing the ladder and you get to the top and you realize that you're leaning against the wrong wall. So we got to clearly identify what wall we want to be on. We need to clearly identify what our goals are and clearly identify what the activities are. And then we have to apply them every day. You know, that snowball rolling down that hill, if it hits a rock and stops, what happens? It loses all its momentum. So you can't stop. You have to continue to do the activities every day to create the momentum that will help you get beyond those obstacles and those things that get in your way along the way, like a rock or a stump or whatever it might be. In our cases, it might be somebody who says, you can't do that, or someone who comes along and says, well, you're not so smart, you're not that good, how do you expect to get there? But you create the momentum that gets you beyond that, so that those things that come in your journey that want to be the stopping points, you say, no, I'm moving, baby. You can't stop me. I'm rolling, I'm going. But it's because you're doing the right things every day. So Vic Johnson, and some of you may have heard of Vic, he's a motivational speaker, coach, and trainer that has been around for a long time. Vic says this, he says that we have to create basically a to-do list of things that we know we have to do. He says that if we have that list, if we know what steps we need to take, that we get 25% more done each day. Wow. Just by having a list, just by knowing what those activities are and writing them down, how important would that be if you knew you could get 25% more each day? So not only have that list, but have that list of activities and have it written down so you can see them, so you can check them off, so you can say, okay, I did this. Okay, I did this. I made this phone call. I sent this email. I made this text. I had this conversation with this person. So you know what you're doing and you have this list of things that you have to do. You know, back in the day when I used a day planner, I split my day planner up into the people I needed to talk to, people I needed to call, letters I needed to send, and then phone calls I needed to make. So a lot of that's gone by the wayside today because we don't use those much anymore. But still, I had that list and I knew what I was supposed to do each day and who I was supposed to call. And by doing that, it helped me on my journey to become one of the top recruiters in the Air National Guard. So the first thing we have to do is focus on what our goal is. Second thing is, what are the activities? Number three is let's create a list so we can track where we are. What gets measured gets done. And if we're not measuring and if we're not tracking it, then those chances are we won't do it. And then number four is it begins on the inside. It starts inside of us. We have to believe that what we're doing is important and that we are willing to do whatever it takes to get to wherever we want to go. It's about a mindset. And if we don't have a strong enough belief in what we're doing, then what's going to happen? Yep, we're going to quit. When the first problem comes along, the first obstacle gets in our way, the first person that gets out there and says, nah, you can't do that, you're going to throw in the towel and say, I quit. But if you have a strong enough belief in yourself, that inside of you, that this is what you're called to do, then nothing's going to get in your way. You have to have that burning desire. Napoleon Hill talks about in the Think and Grow Rich that you have to have a desire that is like white hot burning steel. And if you've never seen steel that is so hot that it turns completely white, I'll tell you, it is impressive, and it is something that if you ever see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. That if you have that strong a desire, then there is nothing going to get between you and what you want to accomplish. Number 5, accountability. Now, accountability is one of those hard ones because a lot of times we depend on ourselves to be accountable. And I got to be honest with you, we're weak. We're weak when it comes to accountability because we can back off of ourselves so easily. I know I'll hold myself accountable. I know I'll make myself do this. I know. But then the first chance or first thing that happens, the first thing you know, oh, I got to go do this or I got to go do that. And that accountability goes out the door. I recommend that you find an accountability partner to help you on this journey. Someone who will encourage you, lift you, inspire you, and motivate you to stay focused on that task. Yes, it's always your responsibility, and that's going to be something we'll talk in a minute. But have someone who can help you be accountable in this process. Someone who knows where you want to go. Someone who knows what the activities are. Someone you trust and love and who you believe will be honest with you about where you're going and what you're doing or what you're not doing. More importantly, what you're not doing. Someone will hold you to the fire and say, hey, did you do this today? Did you make that call today? Did you send that email today? Did you send that text today? Did you make that post today? Did you do that video today? Whatever it is, someone who will hold you accountable to the task. If we all had accountability partners who we believed in and who we trusted, we would get so much more done. I believe that accountability and accountability partners are a key to success for all of us. And if you don't have an accountability partner, then hey, listen, and you need one and you want to reach out to me, we can talk about it. We can talk about being accountable together. So think about that for number 5 as a perspective of accountability. Jim Rome says you can't get something else. You can't get someone else to do your push-ups for you. You got to sometimes have someone who can help you stay accountable, which takes me to the next and most important one of all is I am responsible. I am responsible. It's up to me if it's to be. Now, again, That's where a powerful and strong accountability partner can help you on this journey, can help you reach out and become more responsible. That's one of the great things about Dale and me here, is that we tend to hold each other accountable in special circumstances where we would normally just blow something off. But we remind each other every day, hey, we got to do this, this, and this. We got to do this, this, and this. And in our journey and where we are, we need that. We need somebody to remind us about things that we have to do. Our memories aren't that great anymore. Well, that's not true. We have great memories, but where we are on our journey, we have so many things going on. It's great to have that accountability partner, but it's still our responsibility. It's our responsibility, and that's if it's to be, it's up to me. We can't blame anybody else if we don't reach our goal. It's our fault. It's all our responsibility. And if we're not willing to do the things that need to be done, then you can't blame anybody else. So don't blame anybody. Don't sign up for that class. Be responsible for the actions that you need to take. And listen, accountability and a responsibility and having the right mindset and creating that list and knowing what the activities are to reach that ultimate goal. If you can just do that, you're going to create a momentum in your journey that will impact everything else in your life. Because once you get things going in the right direction and positive direction, it's going to positively impact everything else in your journey. I've seen it time and time again. And I've experienced it time and time again, where I'll get something really going good and I'll see something else happen that's really good. And it just creates, it just creates a great environment for success. And it happens not just to me, it happens to other people who have that same vision about reaching an ultimate goal and creating the momentum. And that's what it's all about, is creating momentum, staying in the game. We hear in sports analogies all the time, well, the momentum has shifted from one team to the other. When that momentum shifts to you and you get things moving in the right direction, you're going to end up winning the game. You're going to score that touchdown that you need to win the game. You're going to reach that level of success that you desire. You're going to grow personally along your journey, and you're going to become that best version of yourself. And it takes a lot of time to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. But I promise you, if you would just take 90 days and focus on one thing and work on it, you will see momentum created in your journey. That snowball rolling down that hill, it's only thinking about one thing: collecting more snow as it heads down the hill. And when it gets to the bottom, it's going to be huge. And if we do the same thing, think about how much more successful we can become in our journey. Well, I hope my message today had some value for you. I look forward to sharing with you again next Wednesday. In the meantime, stay focused and positive, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good afternoon. This is Jim saying goodbye.